good morning to you. Thanks for joining us on today's episode of the Profit Point Show. And today will be a little bit different because during the stock market segment, we are going to be taking phone calls. But of course, during the stock market segment, we're going to be having the gainers and losers as of yesterday, top 5 of them. And then we're going to do sectoral review. Sectoral review for 2021 preview rather. We're considering the consumer goods, and of course, some results also came into the market during the week, which we also consider. So I'm going to give the phone line during the course of the show for you to call in to ask questions regarding the stock market, and it's just going to be for 10 minutes. So we have just a short window. So ensure that you call in within the time, and we'll try as much as possible to answer your questions. Then we go on to the business segment where we talk about internet control system for businesses. All of this after the break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Thank you. Welcome back to the Profit Point Show, and I have in the studio Ambrose Omodium. Ambrose, as usual, my investment analyst from Invest Data Limited.
Yeah, I'm very, very fine.
All right. You know, every time I'm tempted to say Invest Data PLC, is that the time you actually came to list?
No, we're working on it. Yes, we're working on it.
All right.
So we can sell our shares to Nigerians because I believe information is key. And if you already have information, you can excel. And
Sure.
since we're selling information, we want you to be part of it.
That's good. I look forward to that. Thanks for joining again.
Yeah.
All right, let's go over and review the gainers and losers as of top 5 gainers and losers as of yesterday. Seplat topped the gainers chart. Seplat gained 10%, closing at 583 naira. Followed by AICO, that gained 5.22%. Then Cornerstone, then USC, Propsy, and Cortex. Then the losers chart we had Japol Gold losing full 10%. Name Insurance following suit. Champions Beauty, MPF Microfinance, and Linkage Assurance. Looking at the rate of gain, the percentage gain in top gainers, you can see that it's really not a lot as compared to the rate of losers in the market. So we can see that the market is still on the downtrend.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. All right. So this gainers chart, Seplat, obviously, crude oil price is going up. So do you think this is what is reflecting?
Yeah, it's part of it, and also they are kind of diversified to gas business too, which is also a plus for the company. And for them to be consistent in their dividend payment, even when the account is in red, it's a plus for the company. Then that boosts investors' confidence that, with the crude oil price rallying and invest into gas, in the nearest future we will see the account turning green. And if you're able to pay dividend when they are in red because of the robust reserve or retained earnings, that means they can always sustain dividend going forward. And also if you look at the crude oil price, the movement of crude oil price, it tells you that it's going somewhere. And also many global traders in the oil market have also projected that oil will hit another $100, and which is good for the Nigerian economy and for the world at large, because during the COVID-19 issue, 2020 was something else. It affected both the oil market and the economy generally. But now oil is bouncing back. That will drive global economic recovery, and also for that, I see Seplat having a huge gain from that kind of movement. For me, investors in Seplat should go. And also, if you look at Seplat, what we call book to share value. I mean, the value is about 1,000 something, and it's selling below 600. For me, it's an attractive stock to look at, really, if you're a long-term investor. And also, their share in issue is very small. That means the stock price will also call it a form of defensive stock, because it don't go you like all those penny stocks. And for that, if you really want to balance your portfolio, you should have that kind of stock in that. And also, looking at that, just coming back home now, we're just increasing our fuel price on a daily basis. Yes, people are going to local fuel, but that sector is changing because this little margin in increment also reflect on their numbers. For that, investors are looking the way of oil and gas sector. For that, I think that's why stock like Owando, anywhere I am, I also tell people that if you have large hearts, if you have large, or not that you...
I'm not a long-term investor. No, I don't recommend Owando
for if you have large heart and also you don't want to speculate, you want to speculate, you can take position on Owando. Why I say so is that Okowa is having an issue with the regulator as we speak now. Once it is sorted out, you see that stock will look up. Why? Owando has even access more than Seplat in that crude oil business that they are. And for me, that's why Owando is not transparent. And that trust is what has kept the price below 4 naira, because investors are not seeing what they expected from the company. But I believe that they will turn a new leaf after settling with the SEC. That also will boost Owando price to even as high as 10 naira. And if you are buying at 4 naira as a speculator and you're going to wait, don't just say you're expecting dividend. Rule it out of your mind. You're just expecting that this kind of capital appreciation in terms of market settlements.
Ambrose, now my challenge is, this is not the first time Owando is having issues with the regulators. This is not the first time they're coming to the market with news. There was a time they claimed the ConocoPhillips. That's more than 5 years.
But rally now, when it came.
My point is, Owando has been consistent in being inconsistent. And I don't know where you're getting your faith from, that you're not believing them. I probably would prefer to just watch and see if, for this one time, they do, differently.
Yeah.
Then we can say, jumping into it, then people just talking.
No, just like we always say that investment is also a risk. And when you see your fat of phoning, look at it. Owando really want to expand its business too.
Why don't you just wait for them to expand?
They are hungry to come to the market to ask for shareholders to give them money again. And when they must know there must be what AGM. And because of SEC saying there's no AGM for now, they are itching. Their seat is ruling because they want to talk to shareholders. Come on, we want to expand this business, we want to do this kind of business. They want to come with another business idea to shareholders. We want to raise funds. But because there's no AGM, Owando is not comfortable. That's why they are going to carry their leg to go and beg the regulator and let's settle. Because why? Because they see opportunity where they cannot play. For me, that is the I'm looking at. When they come to the market to raise money, Owando will not come and raise money and say, want to sell it for 5 naira. Want to sell it for 7 naira. Watch the plat and others are that up. Owando will say, okay, let's do our right issue at 10 naira. Forget that they have done right issue at 25 naira, 30 naira before now. Even at 10 naira again, it's just for me, it's a cheap price. You would have to Owando at 3 naira, 4 naira. The price will likely move up, no matter how you see it.
Okay, Ambrose, I'm not going to
that's for speculators.
You're an analyst, I'm a stockbroker, so I'm just going I don't have faith in Owando until things improve. I'm not going to recommend Owando, but maybe for traders, people that can flip in and out. Yeah, but for long term,
no. I've said it for dividend. Don't look the way for Owando for now.
Okay, so over to we got Aiko, Cornerstone.
No, ICO also declared a bonus share for the audited account for 2020. That is part of why market is responding. For me, it's not the way expected because liquidity in the market is also slowing down. Ideally, it's liquidity market is getting like 10% the way Seplar did, but because liquidity in the market is just slow, looking for another opportunity due to rising yield in the money market and bond market. Funds are not being divided now. Some funds are staying in the equity market. So before 2020 and January, funds are entering the market powerfully. Price was running. But now that regulatory adjustment in Treasury bill rates, people are also, people that are risk advanced, they don't want to even take risk. Forgetting that the yield in the equity market now is even better than where you are going to go. They don't want to take risk. They prefer to go to where they have safety and put them on. But personally, I see that the yield in the equity market is higher than going to put your money in Treasury bill for 1 year, and we're expecting 5.5. But in a stock that you can enter, even as earnings are coming, some companies are giving you a dividend of 12%, 11% within less than 3 months. Because, for example, as Zenith Bank released the result on the 14th of February, then they're saying they're going to do their AGM on the 16th of March. They will declare dividend of 2.70 kobo. Within the short period, they have made more than 11% without capital appreciation. For me, it's better than me to do something than go and keep my money in Treasury bill for 1 year to get. But for those that risk advert, as you said, that you can go still look at it. But a good investor should have a balanced portfolio. Have your some for in your save vehicle. Have some in the risk where you can also make money. That's why you have I call it finance management. Have some stock that are in estate, some are in pension fund, some are in stock, and some also in money market. Well, it's a like this. No matter what's happening in the economy, you are balanced.
Sure. Okay. Let's look at the gainers chart. Losers chart. Jacob Gold, NEM Insurance, Champions, very interesting. That's the one that actually interested me, and that caught my interest here. Champions Brewery closed at 1.85 kobo. That's a stock coming from 3 naira plus the backdrop of Anakin's buying into them. So what's going on? People still taking profit?
Yes.
Are they planning on running it back to 50 kobo? What?
It's possible it goes back to 90 kobo, but factor that pushed it up was just market news and sentiment. That Anakin is coming in and prices will rally. It's expected that people have to take profit. Also consider the Japan Gold we are just mentioning. Now, Japan Gold topping the loser is not surprised, but one thing that people should know that Japan Gold has rallied on a sentiment, and that sentiment is still there. Any information that come out that whether they have started mining gold anywhere, the price will also go up again. That means people saying that this low price, for me, if you're a speculator too, you can be taking it little by little, dilute that, because that's the question that we take it up also do the same thing. Now, we're not expecting them because of fundamental dividend payment, no. But what now you see the market again, oh, federal government have approved their mining site. Oh, they are here in so state, and I'll tell you the price, because if you look at the price of good, you know, in the commodity market, you should know where their price should be. That's really the advantage if I just comment down and become attractive for those that are taking risk, but not for dividend income investor.
So we're still trading at the backdrop of the real information.
Yeah, information. Yeah.
So we're waiting.
Information.
I hope this won't be another one anyway.
No,
okay.
This will be another one.
I have nothing against it, so don't mind.
No problem.
You invested in stock in the past and you recommended it
to people.
And just for your hands.
You don't disappoint you.
Just disappoint you.
Yeah, I
don't mind me.
agree with you.
All right, down with the sugar, let's go into the auditor report that actually came during the week. Dangote Sugar released their results. Revenue was up by 33.03%. Profit after tax was up by 33.16%. This is the kind of, I don't need to ask why is it up, down, why is the profit up, and why is the revenue down, you know.
Why?
It's just correlated.
Yes.
But Dangote Sugar, 2020, they actually brought out good results. That's particular. No, they're in the food and beverage, but they are not like the Cadbury or Nestle that are actually into, I mean, sugar can be used for so many things, that's my point. It's not only for retail.
It's a commodity that is not only used for, you can export it to other places.
Exactly, so they actually did well last year.
And also price of sugar was up last year too.
Yeah, so dividend £1.50. How did the market take this?
No, actually, if you look at even that coming to the market, they beat expectation, but market is not reacting because liquidity. I tell you, liquidity is one of the major fundamentals for any equity market and sentiment. And when there's no liquidity, no matter how good result is, market will not react to it. But it's only those long-term investors that know what they are doing. When you see these results, you wait and take your video and be smiling. While traders will be waiting to price to come down. You as a dividend investor will be packing your dividend first. When it comes to a level, but they are waiting for a price because they buy at low and sell high. But when it is still dropping, they don't want to enter because you don't cut a fallen knife. Sure. When it's coming down, they have to wait. Let it come to a support level. You are chopping your dividend. That's why for me, if you're a dividend investor, don't panic when market is correcting because your dividend will come. And also, in my discussion yesterday with some clients in US, I was telling them that if you follow the billionaire investor in Nigeria, all over the world, you also become a billionaire. Not that you become a billionaire to their own level, but if you are putting 100, your that 100 will increase. Well, I mean, you will grow your 100. Why? The billionaires, they use their stocks to rate them. And look at when the market crashed in 2007, 2008, and 2009, all these companies were selling at below their fair value. But go and check all the stock that these billionaires in Nigeria are. They've grown their dividend consistently because why? They have the highest chunk of the company. And because they want to maintain their lifestyle, I call them smart money, but because they have to pay good dividend out. Paying good dividend out, that means price is going to grow. Why prices are oscillating? They're not interested. Dividend because it comes to them, because they have the highest share of the company. Then if you really want to really play safe, look for this where you have these billionaires and enter.
Mimic their investment.
Yes, exactly.
The question you have is, so how will I know where the billionaires are buying?
No, not that where the billionaires are, because they have the highest share in the company. For that, they pay themselves good dividend. That dividend alone, that's why if you are an income investor, take your strategy. Look for where the billionaires are, because those billionaires, they want to grow their payout because they want to support their lifestyle.
So basically, stocks that are consistent in dividend payment.
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to NASCON Halide PLC 2020 audited report. Revenue was up by £1.90. Profit after tax was up by 45.8%. So this is the kind of result I was saying, what happened?
Yeah, if you look at their cost of sales, I have to go through the results for NASCON. It dropped of almost like 47% drop in the cost of sale, about from 20 billion to 13 billion.
Wow.
Cost of sale. I mean, that means they've really reduced their, even also know how to manage that. But when you are managing your cost to get your fat bottom line, for me, it's not sustainable because cost can bounce back. But what matters is that when a company is growing your top line, your bottom line, I'll say that company thumb up. Why? Because that your top your operating cash flow will support your earnings. But when you are cutting costs, you are managing costs, and your bottom line is fat, it's good. We can't condemn you. It's good to that company, but how long will you manage that cost? If things change, what matters is that breaking into a new market in where you are, so that you can grow your top line, your gross earnings, your revenue. You can grow them by entering new market or introducing new products, expanding your product line. That means your earnings can be sustained. That is what I look at. But for me, if your operating cash flow is also another, is looking up, and it's looking up, thumb up for that company. But when your earnings is looking up and your operating cash flow is looking down, that earnings will last. That means investors not just because you see some company releasing first earnings is positive. Go back and look at their operating cash flow. Is he looking up the way the earnings looking up? Because earnings is very important, because a company not pay you if they're not making earnings, if they're not making profit. They want to look at, oh, would their operating cash flow support that profitability level they are showing? If you can support it, go ahead. That means you expect good number and good dividend, because it is when they make the earnings they can pay you good dividend. For that, look at the numbers very well.
Well, they paid, they declared 40 kobo dividend, same as last time.
And our market has also reacted because of that. Because no matter how your number is looking at, whether good, looking up, if you really reward investors very well, they will treat you.
All right. Nestle 2020 audited account. Revenue was up by 1.07%, and profit after was down by 14.17%. All right, so Nestle, Cadbury, Unilever, we were expecting so much from them, but negative 14.17 from Nestle.
So that the year was not good for them.
Was not good. That's a serious indicator, because Nestle is a beautiful stock that is respected in and off the floor, management-wise, product line, the brand itself.
Just like what you just said, when people purchasing power is low. We mentioned a lot of sugar. Sugar is babu industrial, and these days people are not even going for sugar, they're going for honey. That means for Tango to put that kind of number, sugar business is up. And also if you look back to the third quarter result of flour mill that we discussed here, the arm of their sugar business also supported their bottom line. That means that business, sugar business for last year was up. You can see. But for NASCOM is also into agriculture related business. You know NASCOM too. You can see that the numbers are, even that I said top line was not, for that also have a lot of supporting NASCOM, and also their cost and their cost of sales also supported them. But for Nestle, because it has to do with, they do personal products, children, and if people's purchasing power is low, your consumption will drop. I know before now, there are some people that are buying like almost a carton of Milo in their house for a month. But because the earnings have dropped, inflation is high, they might have to buy in what they call it, in Nico, what they call it, in the, not the carton again now. Sachets.
No. That you're watching your movie.
Yeah. On that, it's very good, affect kind of, for me, it's tell you that the economy is still just struggling. But since the last GDP from World Statistics said we are moved from out of recession to about 0.11 in growth or recovering, it's a good sign. But you can see that also the result from this consumer sector is also pointing that there's little improvement in that sector. That means going forward to this year, we expect that let's see general improvement in all the consumer sector. Yeah.
And dividend was 35. They declared 35. There are 50 kobo.
Against
dividend. How much is the stock now, though?
The stock is still at 145, 1,045, 1,440.
That's still high.
And with these earnings or this dividend, for me, is overpriced. But only that the shareholding structure of Nestle will support the price, because most of the shares are in Nestle International.
So we really will not see any dumping. Really,
and also this, I said earlier that if kind of your portfolio, the kind of stock you used to play defense. But when you see the kind of Nestle drop it to a line below 1,000, it become attractive because it still bounce back. But with this kind of payout, I see the stock coming down a little.
But I don't see it getting below 1,000.
No, but it's coming down. It will adjust down a little, because investors to take profit now. People are enter 1,000 expecting this result. Seeing this result, there's no need of waiting. You sell off now when they adjust down more. Like I said earlier, because of the shareholding structure, going down is always a problem. That's why people are defensive in their portfolio.
Yeah, I'm sure that many of all these institutional investors will not see it as a stock they actually want to dump. Because if you dump Nestle, what do you want to pick up? Really?
You can't buy Zenith Bank.
No, those banking stocks they are not defensive stocks.
But they are income
stocks. They are income stocks, but they are not defensive stocks. No, really, no.
No, I bet you can take Zenith for like 50 million now. Buying Nestle without 50 million will not make any meaning to me. One, their yield for dividend is less than 2%. But if I take Zenith Bank at this price, even at 25 naira, I'm having about 12% yield.
Like you said, most banking stocks are income stocks. They are not defensive.
I make money now. Then I cannot come back to Nestle later.
See, God forbid us having 2009 Sanusi tsunami.
No, that has gone.
That's gone. The rate at which Zenith will fall is not the rate at which Nestle will fall, even if there is a general issue in the market. But of course, we know that the rate at which Zenith will also, and when I say Zenith, I'm not saying
all the banks, all the
banking stocks. The rate at which they will also gain, capital appreciation, right? It's not the way Zenith, Nestle is not going to. So they're like a fence. So you don't just break your fence.
For me, I look for income. I go for where I can make
when I'm
money.
talking about defense, so I'm not looking at you. It's not for you. Alright, the last result here is Custodian Investment PLC, and they grew their gross earning by 22.2% and profit after tax by 112.73%. What happened here?
This is another company in other financial so that I call them conglomerate company already. Why?
Okay.
Because they are into pension, they are into investment banking. No, they are into all investment. Even they are entering into real estate now because they understand investment. These are companies that acquire other insurance companies where they were custodian allied insurance. Now they are moved to custodian investments, the PSE. Now they have like other sectors or other subsidiaries that are bringing money for them. For me, it's a company that watch. Why? Look at their payments. So for the last 5 years, they have been consistent and growing there, and they are quiet. But the result is now bringing them out. When I saw the result, I say this is a company that is just lying quiet. Nobody knows. If you invest in kind of company, you won't regret. Now they are diverting into real estate. Knowing that real estate, if you're having real estate in a high brand place, you might not sell. But if you decide to change your strategy and put your real estate in where you have low income, and you have been in one bedroom, one bedroom self-contained, and they are paying little to get it, you will make sense. But when you are building in Ikoyi, people have access to buy it, and all the firms are putting has to sell. Because
Ambrose, drop this your passport mentality. People have money to buy it. No.
I'm telling you,
you may not sell a lot, but maybe that one that you sell.
I say strategy. No, I say a strategy. No, I believe these guys, they know what to do. And also looking at the team that are managing and also the numbers are already telling you that they are going somewhere. No, for me,
I mean, they made 6 billion profits additional 2019.
That is about 100% growth in there. And also the top line was up also with a good name. For me, these core results, and we advise investors that are looking for constant dividend payment and capital acquisition to gradually look at the stock and look the offer.
How much is it now?
It's around 6 naira.
And they paid 45
kobo plus their initial 15 kobo. That's about 55 kobo.
They pay
internal. That's why I'm really looking at it. But if you are really pensioner, you are looking at where you can earn money 2 times in a year. This kind of stuff, they pay you at every 6 months, and at the end of the year, you make money. They pay 15 kobo for 6 months last year. They are paying almost 45 again. That's how much. That's about 55. For me, it's a good one for 60. It's a good one for considering investment.
That's good. All right, thank you, Ambrose. We take a break and we go into the question and answer segment.
Okay.
So the number to call 0803 0442 929. 0803 044 2929. 003 044 2929. So call in and ask the questions regarding maybe what you've said, discussed here, or what we've discussed in the past, or you need recommendation or something. Just question in the stock market, basically. We have just 10 minutes for this. So the number again, 0803 044 2929. 0803 044 2929. So whilst we're waiting, let's take a preview of consumer goods for 2021. I mean, 2021, this is around March.
Yeah.
We're expecting the Q1 results.
Yes, even looking at the results that are coming from that sector, it have given insight what you expect in 2021. I see that the breakthrough in the COVID, what we call, this vaccine for COVID is a plus for the sector, and also it's also for the economy too, because when the economy is doing well, people earnings can improve and it's going to impact. And there's no lockdown this year. You see the activities all over, that will also impact on them. For me, I see an upside potential for those companies. Now that we are seeing their numbers are becoming better. If you look at the company in that sector, Flour Mill, Honeywell, you can look at their numbers so far. They're only Nestle and Cadbury and Unilever that their numbers are looking a bit down in that sector. But others have shown that business is passing back. For me, I see that there's potential in that sector for this year. All you just do, look at those companies there that are still selling on that value in terms of looking at their numbers. And also don't forget that if you want to look at this sector, don't just look at the fundamentals alone. Look at the technical to know the right time to buy, because it's always the right price to buy any stock. But what people say, because the fundamentals, like people look at Nestle, you have good fundamental, the price is high. You enter such stock at that price, you stock there, you are not losing, you are not gaining, just like as you said, defensive. But if you really want to make money and trade, you look at where the support level of this price. Look at that support level. We have the potential in that sector for this year. Then let me buy at a good price. If you buy a good price, when it goes up, you smile. Or when you enter because the fundamental is good, you are not buying it, you'll be waiting because, like I said, Nestle is supposed to adjust down a little because of you. Not because of that, you'll be just buying, go and buy it on at the current price today. No, wait for that stock to adjust so that you can buy. And when it goes into the new year, when you start seeing their first quarter improving, second quarter improving, price market will respond to that. On the long run, and that short on term, market will respond to the earnings of any company. That's why I think we're expecting the sector to do well this year. Let investors look at those stocks that are selling below their book value and or fair value and take position, because really, as the economy is improving, now that we're out of recession, we expect that government should look at their policy to sustain the recovery, not that we will not go back to recession again, because it's too fragile that we just gain 0.11 in GDP.
Okay. We have a caller, Prince Sulukoya, calling from Abulela. Hello? Hello?
Hello, yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. How do I go into stock business? And which is the best stock to buy?
I can barely hear you.
I say, how do I go into stock business? And which is the best to buy?
How do you go into the stock business and know the
Yes,
stock
which
to
is
buy?
yes.
Okay. All right. Noted. Thank you, Prince. Thanks for calling. Yeah. So it's a stock business. So how will you go? Stock is actually an investment.
Yeah,
Some
no,
see it as business.
you can do it as a business, but as a business, you need to you have to train yourself. The interest, yes, for calling them, it has interest in it. It's not only don't have interest, you need to know the details of this business, the resume of this business. You need to know how to start and how to make money from it. It's not just this stock is good. The market can always go up and down. Whether the market can even flog the expert in the market. But if you understand the rhythm of the market, you know when is the time, because there's always a season for anything. You know, there's always a timing, a cycle. For me, to start a good business for me is possible. You can use it as a business. Train yourself on it. Like what we do in Invest Data, we train people to do stock as business. And we are trained like more than 20 people that are doing that as business. But they are surviving. Why? Because if you know when to buy low and sell high, by using your technical analysis, knowing fundamental, you train and make money in the market. But like, your question is that, how will you know the best stock? You must know the business model behind any company numbers you are seeing.
You can say best stock.
Yes,
best stock for life.
You must know the
best stock for time.
you must know the business behind their numbers. Not only that, you must know the right price to buy. This price, like I mentioned that Japan moved from around 20 kobo to 1 naira 60 kobo. If you are that kind of stuff, you have made hell of money. That same talk is coming down now. It's not because of the fundamental. That means if you are training yourself, you know how to use your technical analysis, sentiment report to know when to buy and when to sell. For me, your question is good, and if you want to do that, you need proper training to do it as business.
Which Ambrose does. So Ambrose, just give your number, and please don't rush. That's training.
Okay, 080-281-64085. You can call me at any time. Then we can now schedule a meeting for you and tell you how to start the business of stock trading. It's not that you must be a stockbroker. No. Just get interest, train yourself, know how to combine your fundamental, technical, and sentiment. You are good to go. You don't need to even have an office. From your phone, you can be trading. From your laptop in the house, I do my trading most of the time from my house. Even though I'm in Abeokuta, I've been ordered this morning to buy for me. You don't need to sit down before a stockbroker. If you know how to do it well, you can do that also part-time for your business. When you are making money in your trade, you can be setting some as an error towards the equity market to generate more money for you. It's all about understanding and also planning your financials. That
the number again.
Yeah, 080-281-64085.
All right. Thank you, Amber. So you can still call in. We still have a few minutes to go. And now, my challenge with consumer goods, consumer goods sector, is actually, I feel that sector should be divided into two.
Okay.
For the likes of flour mills, sugar, Honeywell should be on one side. Sugar. And Nestle and Cadbury should be on one
side. And
Unilever should be on one side. Because even though they're into food, consumer goods, they are kind of different. And yeah, there's claim that we're out of recession. Yeah. But the fact is, disposable income is too low.
Yeah,
we cannot guarantee that petrol is coming down. We can almost guarantee that it's going up.
Yeah.
And once it's up, you can always guarantee that everything goes up. And when everything goes up, how are we supposed to survive? So how are we supposed to not expect a better result from the likes of Nestle, from the likes of Cadbury and Unilever? Nestle is lucky because the stocks are not so fragmented.
There are multiple products like
exactly, that's one thing. Even the people holding the stocks, it's not a stock that can just go on offer. I've never seen Nestle on offer. But the likes of Cadbury and Unilever, there's a risk that the more they don't bring out good results, the more the market flogs them. Yeah. So what do you have to say to this? The likes of sugar can still survive this year.
Yeah, actually, as an investor, like I said, stocks are not like women that you marry. Any store that you enter that is not doing well, sell it off and move to the
Even
next
some
one.
people are even leaving their wives. So.
I don't, I'm not serious. There are some sectors, like as we speak now, the market is correcting, pulling back. But there are some sectors that are giving us a sign already that this sector will outperform the market, even at this period of pullback. So sector, you move your phone to it and position. And that is why we're having a master class, coming April 3rd. That master class is purely for those that want to make money in a down market and in a bull market. When market is down or up, you make money. But if you don't understand it, when market is down, people complaining. You want to run out of the market? No. There's opportunities that same market you are running out. I mean, people that have lost money in 2009, 2008, this is the time to come back to the market because the same market you lost money, that's where you can make back the money because there's opportunity in this market. The market become more transparent, play by global, international and expert. For me, come back to this market, only that you need to be informed. Because the market 2007, 2008 is different from today because the market has become information driven with the help of what technology. Just key into the technology world and you come and make money in the equity market.
So you recommend the Cadbury and Unilever?
For now, the two, for me, the dividend payment for Unilever is slim and because their accounts already in red. But for Cadbury, have a decline in their result after they are unaudited in January. For that, the two, I would advise if you are there, you can start selling off there. Look for where you have good dividend. Like dividend coming from UCAP, coming from Zenith Bank, where you can, because this market, where market adjusting now, look for something that has good dividend yield and play with them because now you are sure of getting additional money. What your investment is there for you. For me, you have to pay dividend now that the market.
But we can still go to the likes of Flour Mills.
Yeah. But Flour Mill, for me, I would advise that you hold on Flour Mill to let it, because Flour Mill has March as year end. We're already in March now. Before the stock can hit the market to be around June, July. For me, jumping into this hour now is a bit long. We'll just hold on for like end of April to start positioning in stock like Flour Mill. Because Flour Mill have given us first quarter result positive, second positive, third quarter. For that, it's a sign that good things it's awaiting investor in that stock. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Ambrose. Thanks for joining in this
thanks
segment as usual.
Yeah.
All right, this brings us to the end of this segment, stock markets. We're going to break, and when we return, we go to the business segment where we talk about internet control for business. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thank you. Welcome back. It's the Profit Point Show, and this is the business segment where we talk about internet control for business. I have in the studio Mr. Kunle Shodikpo. Good morning, sir. Thanks for coming.
Good morning. Nice
Again.
to be here once
This is
again.
like the second time. All right.
Yeah.
So today we want to talk about the different kind of internet control that you put in place for business. I know there are different kind of businesses, but there will be basic internet control that cuts across a lot of them, if not all of them. So, but let's start off with defining what or explaining what internet control really are.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well, internal control in a layman's definition is everything, or let's say the process we put in place to ensure that operation of an organization goes with all rules and regulations, especially when it comes to our financial transactions and so many other operational procedures that we go through. You know, there are regulations, there are objectives each organization has that they focus on. We must make sure that these things, we put in place a control system that does not deviate from that objective. At the same time, it tallies with extant laws and regulatory whatever. That is just the simple definition of internal control.
That's fine. Okay, so let's now take specific areas of businesses and explain how internal control process work. Okay, what kind of internal control should you put in? For instance, your invoices, your bank statements, you know. Basically, I know one of the advantages of internal control is to prevent fraud.
Yes.
But that's not the only one. Maybe the major one when it comes to finance. So let's look at different areas and the kind of internal control system that should be put in place in such areas.
Yeah, we have two categories of internal control system. We have the preventive one and we have the detective one. The preventive one is more or less like the one we put in place to prevent or to ensure that those things that will take us away from from our objective does not occur. Okay. It's a kind of proactive measure. We want to ensure that it does not happen. Whereas the detective one is the one that we put in place to look into the control system after the act or after the transaction has taken place to see if probably nothing went wrong. Okay. So as you can see now, the preventive is more or less proactive, while the detective is reactive. So those are the two kind of categories that we have. And again, when you look at it, the preventive one, it saves a lot of the organization a lot of stress, because when you prevent fraud or when you prevent irregularities in your operation, it saves a lot of hassles, because you don't have to go against your own operational procedures. You don't have to face the stress of breakdown in your operational. You mentioned account statement and all that. If we work tightly with the preventive internal control system, you discover that a financial organization will save itself from whatever backlash might come up from would-be customers, you know, because these things, this fraud has not taken place. The bank statement, it's in conformity with the standard of your organization. So you don't have to put yourself or expose yourself into unnecessary risk if you work more on the preventive one. Meanwhile, the detective one also helps, because it helps you to detect it quickly when it happens, so that there will be remedial procedures to also follow up with the process. By and large, both are very, very essential in all organizations, and we must not, toy with them. Okay.
So as a business, I've heard a lot of cases when it comes to, we're so intelligent as humans, so intelligent. There's a case.
We are so calculative.
It's very well. And sometimes the people that you're working with as the owner of a business, sometimes you think they are not smart, because they say, honestly, if you have idea what the kind of plan they have for you, you're just like, God. Because there's this case of, it was even between an audit, it's a popular case. I can't remember the company now. I think Otto Adensen or something. Okay. It was in an audit. They actually brought an auditor. To find out what happened. Okay. They have these tanks, and come and audit how much do we have. Is in conformity with what's written in the book. And because the tanks were linked by pipes, so the auditor wanted to check, climbed up to check, okay, this one is, before he climbs down, they opened this one, it's already filling this one. So what he got was, they have this, but actually they don't have up to that. And actually affected it. So my point is, if you have to give examples like, okay, what kind of control do you put, for instance, for your finance? Okay, so do you have to reconcile this statement with your banker, the statement you're getting, with what you have? What kind of control do you put if you actually sell merchandise, when it comes to security. So I just need you to run us through the processes. So this won't be like, okay, they said we should have internal control, but I don't even know how to go about it.
Yeah.
How do I put control? What do I do?
Well, I think the way I'm going to put it, I will say the first one in the operational aspect.
Okay.
The process, you have to ensure that there are periodic checks in the way the operational activities is being carried out to ensure that there are no deviations from what is on ground. When we're talking about operation, it talks about, okay, for instance, you mentioned financial institution. There are times where some things must be released to the customer, maybe by emails or maybe by SMS. Are these things happening? Are they going on the way it's supposed to? Also, the way customers are being attended to, are they in terms with the set standard and also with extant laws and regulations? And then you look at the financial aspect also, whereby auditing, you mentioned tank now, where they had to open one to fill the other one. That one is a sad story, and it's a very sensitive one. And you know, in this part of the world, we are very, very, God has given us brain. Yeah. The only prayer is I will pray that that wisdom that we have, we should use it positively and not negatively. So when we look at the financial aspect, auditing is very, very important, and not only internal, external. At the same time, it should be periodic. Okay, there should be a time. We should make sure that we carry out these activities at the required time that we have stated that these things must be looked into. Those procedures, if keyed into, I'm sure will help and we prevent situations where we can not, or where our organization will now find itself into where it doesn't want to be.
Okay. Part of internal control to me also, of course, beyond just finance, even when it comes to staffing.
Yes. Right.
So there's trust. Well, yeah, we need to trust people, but when it comes to business, I think you leave trust to the churches or so.
No, not
so when it comes to businesses, you have to, it's not because you don't trust your staff, but it's just because you don't want stories. We've seen people that we employ people based on, oh, he's my family member, oh, he's a friend to my, the person really does not fit that role. The person can't perform that duty. So when the person is there, the person can't even dictate what is wrong or what is not wrong. There's a friend of mine that actually has a plumbing shop, and he employs somebody, please help our son put, and the guy was there. Obviously, when the guy sells the carton, he puts stones inside. So he sells, he pockets the money, he brings others from the store and replace, then the carton, he puts stones inside and put at the back. So when the owner of the business goes there, he carries okay, there are things inside. So sometimes you need to go beyond just trusting people, and this is just my own thoughts. Beyond trusting, it's nothing personal, it's just business. So if you're selling stuff and you have things in stock, periodic check to be sure that these things are actually there, not just carrying the cartons. Okay, are they there? And being able to check periodically. Then, of course, the aspect of CCTV camera.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last time. That has to do with security.
Yes.
Yeah.
So for you to know who is going in and out. Then there's also something I read online and actually came to me. Internal control goes beyond finance, goes beyond staff. Also, the secret, rather than not secret, it's not like a court thing. What makes the business different should not be accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
I've had somebody go into another company and the person copied all the list to give to the competitor. Wow. And the person was even paid for it. It's because the person had access to it.
We even had a similar case when it comes, I won't mention the product, some soft drinks, where somebody was working with a particular soft drink manufacturing company, and maybe because of a dispute, and he gave the formula to another company. And as you can see, with that drink, when you see both drinks, there's something that tells you what is the difference between the two of them. So I think that looks like what you are talking about.
It's just good for business owners too.
But majorly, the word periodic, is more or less like in business. We can really control. We can put in place, make internal control to be effective, if we don't joke with our periodic checks. Whether it has to do with our finances, whether it be staffing, whether it has to do with the operational procedures, or whether we have to do, we must make sure that we always and all the time, do those periodic checks to avoid this kind of situation that we are painting here.
All right, let's go to responsibility. Whose responsibility should it be to establish internal control in an organization, and whose responsibility should it be to actually monitor it?
Okay, for every organization there are policy makers, there are people who make the policies for the organization, so it is the responsibility of the policy makers to establish the internal control procedures, and to monitor it. Then it has also to be the responsibility. There must be let me say, like I said, we talked about the internal auditor, we talked about external auditor, then also we have other areas where monitoring tools. For instance, we talked about somebody is supposed to be in charge of security, who also via the CCTV or via periodic checks on staffs to see. Then also, I think the human resource person also has a little work to do in this regard to ensure that the staffs in that area are not off the point or don't do anything that is not in conformity with the basic procedures set by the organization. So it's a two-way thing. For instance, now let me pick on our media houses. As we are on live now, there is a department that is ensuring that we do not spit out anything that falls under NTBB, and so there's a kind of control to ensure that we don't go beyond. And you have an account department also who also monitors how money comes in and out to quickly detect fraud. So I think there are responsible departments for that, and it has to do with those who are in charge of the policies and of the organization.
Okay, what I'm asking is, many businesses are still the level of one-man business.
We have not got into that aspect, because you talked about what are disadvantages.
Yeah, okay.
It is difficult. That is where one-man business comes in.
One of the problems when it comes to enforcing internal control is you discover that the people at the top, they find it difficult to respect that. They tend to break it by virtue of they are the one that established it.
Especially when it's one-man business.
So there's no segregation of duty.
Yes.
And the person monitoring is also the person that put it in place. So how do you want to enforce it? So maybe this leads us to the limitations.
It's one of the major limitations, because it is difficult for internal control system to work when we have just one man deciding what to do. Is the alpha and omega when it comes to finances, is the alpha and omega when it comes to procurement, is the alpha and omega in all aspects, and it can do and undo. So it's one of the biggest limitations of internal control. Then again, another, for it to work also, the size of the organization matters. I think those is almost the same thing also. When the organization is a small one, and it might be difficult for the principle of internal control to really work meaningfully well in such an organization. By and large, we're talking about the limitations now. There are so many merits of internal control, which, as we're discussing, we have mentioned some. It helps us to quickly detect fraud, and then it enhances operational efficiency, and so many other advantages where we have, where it also gives us, help us in terms of the control mechanism that will help boost whatever we do in our organization. So there are so many advantages. So if we're talking about the limitation, I think there are just about 1 or 2 or 3 limitations which which organizations can easily work around.
Okay. So some people actually have businesses that they are not there. We know how to do many things here.
Okay.
They are, maybe the guy or the lady has a business,
yes,
but there's another business that is not there. How can that person enforce internal control when he or she is not there to monitor the day-to-day operation of the business?
Yeah, thank you. Well, that can be enforced through whoever is, there must be somebody responsible. Sure. There must be somebody who is supposed to monitor the business. If you have one or two, three businesses, and you are not supposed to just leave your business and not appoint or make it a duty for somebody to monitor the business on your behalf. So there must be somebody who would not, let's put it this way now, so that we can all understand it. Just, there must be somebody that you employ that it is his or her own duty to ensure that whatever aspect in terms of the financial, whatever, you know, when it's a small business, you might not have control managers for different you can just combine them and have one person, you know, checking out and monitoring those areas for you. So because whatever it is, it's very essential as long as you want that business to thrive, to make sure that you put in place necessary control mechanisms.
Yeah, I agree. But you know, they will say something that if you open business and put somebody there, you're just empowering that person. So most people with businesses, they actually, normal, the business owners, so they employ people there. But it's discovered that many of them also find out that the money is embezzled, something. So what kind of other control can you put in place, even though you've employed somebody there?
That takes us to the area of security.
Okay.
For instance, I have somebody in the studio with me who has a diverse kind of business, and sometimes he's in Abuja, and the business is going on in Abeokuta, and we are able to see what is going on phone. Okay. You know, on our device. Sometimes we are put in place in terms of the financial aspect also some systems whereby if anything goes wrong, even without getting there, we're able to identify that there is a problem, and we immediately take necessary action. So in security-wise, if you are not around, you can have secret CCTV camera. In fact, there are very good ones now that looks like speakers. You just put it down. It has about 4 cameras. There's nothing that goes on in that business environment that will not, you know, that will not be recorded, so that for you to actually see what transpired when you were not around. So, like you said, our people are very, when you put somebody in charge of this, some of them don't run it as if it's your own, because if it is your own, you will definitely ensure that the business does not collapse. But when it is not theirs, you know, they think they can do also. But once you have put in place all those things, especially in terms of security, then again, you can employ a security guard whose duty is to check the environment and see what comes in and out of the organization. For instance, if you have an electronic shop and that is the duty, you see how they move out and how things comes into the organization.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kondesi.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming
You're
again.
welcome. You're welcome.
All right.
Quite short today.
Quite short, right?
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
We rectify it the next time.
No
Okay?
problem. No
All right,
problem.
thanks for coming. All right, this brings us to the end of the Profit Point Show. For today, the show returns same time next week, Thursday, 11 a.m. to 12, same station, OGTV. Thanks for joining and remain safe. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye.
The Ogun State government has observed with concern various acts of misconduct by some individuals and groups which contravene extant laws of the state.
These acts include sale and use of alcohol and illicit drugs in motor parks, indiscriminate dumping of refuse, display of goods and placement of containers